So our musician today is David Johnson, and we do not have lyrics to put on the screen today, but I would like us to welcome David Johnson.
All right, so this first one is just a fun little summer song from Joyful Times with Friends called Oopsie Doodles. It's the perfect time to ferret out the lowdown. The sun is shining bright all over this town. Let's go for a walk and listen to the birds and the bees humming around in the trees. I found a turtle by the lake. I scooped him up and I kissed his face, but he bit me on the lip instead of kissing me back. And I was like, oopsie doodles, he's a Bichon Frise, but he looks like a poodle. Oopsie doodles, oopsie doodles. Crossing the stream, I fell down into the water with my foot in my mouth. You know there's really nothing harder. And I let loose quite a long string of words that weren't so nice as I reached for the Band-Aids and the ice. And I was like, oopsie doodles, he's a Bichon Frise, but he looks like a poodle. Oopsie doodles, oopsie doodles. It's the perfect time to ferret out the lowdown.
I love it. I love guitar music.
Oh, David, don't go far. It's time for the joy song.
Oh, that was the joke song.
Yes.
All right.
And it's on. So if you'll all join us.
I need to train bass this a little bit. All right, there we go. So this is one of mine. Calling all children of God, turn your hearts and your minds up to the sky, and wonder not why. Calling all children of God, plant your hope and your love into the ground, and let love abound. You must want what you want. Your desire is bigger than all of us, than all of us, than all of us. Calling all makers of art, take to your craft with the truth that is in your heart, and mean no harm. Calling all makers of art, be not afraid to say just what you need. Your expression is beauty. You must want what you want. Your desire is bigger than all of us, than all of us, than all of us. Calling all children of God, turn your hearts and your minds up to the sky, and wonder not why. Calling all children of God, plant your hope and your love into the ground, and let love abound, 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 let love abound.
Are there any new people today? I know we have one new lady today. Could you tell us your name, please?
Alea Boucher.
Yeah.
Hi, Alea.
Well, welcome. Did you get your red heart?
I did. Thank you.
Are there any others?
Oh, yes,
Alethea.
Alethea. And I understand you used to attend the Trenton Avenue building?
Yes.
Well, welcome back. And you got your red heart?
Yeah, I do.
Hmm. Well, we'd like to start with our introducing our team today that makes everything happen. Our board member of the day today is Debbie Lee. Our musician, David Johnson. I'm Nora. And chaplains are Debbie Lee and Marilyn. And youth ed champion today is Cindy. And hospitality is Anne and probably Mary Ellen, I'm sure will be helping her. And then our cleanup angels today is everybody, because we're all good about doing that.
Everybody.
And without our technology person, all this couldn't happen, so we all know how wonderful Mark is on the computer. And then, of course, our office assistant, Cindy Henderson.
Cindy.
Or Susan. Yeah, well, you know.
I've only known her for 2 years. Having a moment.
So for our new people that received your red hearts, if you're new today at Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know that no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you this heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each one of us, and we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of the Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The red heart is a symbol of fellowship in the world. It can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. And our Unity happenings, a lot of them are in your bulletin. So last Friday we had the movie night, Attack of the Clones. On Tuesday, Suzanne O'Clair is going to be doing her New Moon Circle Spiritual Star talks, and you can get a mind reading with that. Next Sunday on the 6th, Our guest speaker will be Deborah Olive, The Power of Your Spirit. Oh, I like her. And then on August 11th, it's going to be another movie night. Another Star Wars movie, Star Wars 3, Revenge of the Sith. And then just in 3 short weeks is our picnic on the 20th at NAD Park. And those are always fun. And then we have our Board of Trustees report.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Debbie Lee. And we want to thank you all for completing these the surveys that you're finding in your brochures each week. So thank you very much for that feedback. Please keep doing that. And there's a bag out in the fellowship hall to place them in. Technology envelopes are available for those who want to make a separate contribution to go directly toward the technology fund. These funds are being held separate from the Sunday contributions. Mark is putting together a list of items needed, and the estimated financial cost is about $6,000. And our current balance to date is $1,144. So thank you for your generosity, and we look forward to more. Of course. Our next movie night is Friday, August 11th, and we will be showing Star Wars 3, Revenge of the Sith, 2005 version. Funds donated for this event will be used for the technology fund, so please come join us for some pizza, popcorn, and a movie and some fun. PG-rated movie will be shown in the children's room while the adults watch the Star Wars movies. If you have suggestions of movies you would like to see in the future, please let Mark Swink know, or write it on the feedback form in the Sunday Bulletin. We will be finishing the Star Wars series on August 25th with Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. So please submit your suggestions and we will present them soon to begin our September Friday night series. The Seattle Peace Project, which we've talked about before, is ongoing through September. We notified the organizer by email that Unity of Bremerton will be participating, along with Unity of Seattle, Linwood, Kent, and South Sound. All we have to do is believe in what we are doing and encourage our congregants to join in. How much time each individual devotes to praying for the cause is entirely up to them. No obligations. And there's a flyer on the bulletin board, or you can go to their website, www.hhresearch.org, for more details. The board is working hard to preserve our savings account and operate under a balanced budget. In order to provide transparency to all of you, we are now including some financial status information on the back of the Sunday Bulletin. The full profit and loss statement is posted on the bulletin board. If you have any questions, please see a board member. Now that we have a shorter, more concise mission and vision statement, we will be taking the next step in hiring a new minister. The board is meeting today to begin filling out the required paperwork to get the process started. Our next board meeting is August 13th, and the board will continue to update you weekly. If you have any questions or concerns, please see a board member. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to light the Christ candle. This represents the Christ light within all of us. And we'll say our mission, our invocation together. There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Now we're going to do our brief, as Debbie likes. Brief. Handshakes and hugs. And remember that there is fellowship afterwards so that we can catch up on anything then.
See how many people you can hug.
Timer started.
Hey, Larry. Hi. I'm
I'm John.
Okay, that's good. Enough for me. Well, how about a hug? I'm glad you're here. There you are. She called me last night and asked me to come
I gotta give you a hug, anyway. Yeah, we did. That was great doing that. Yeah, me
too. Consider yourself hugged. Every day.
I want to sit on your lap, but I want to. Watch your mouth. Come on, honey. Oh, go sit down. Darn women are always making up.
Alrighty, so this one, I'm not sure who it's by, but it's a hymn that I learned as a child when my parents were doing some retreats, faith retreats. So I'll teach it to you. It's really easy. I did it last time, so there's hand motions too. So it's one bread and one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing which we bless, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. All right, so let's do that again. One bread and one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing which we bless, and we, the many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. All right, there it is.
You just stopped that song sooner than I expected to. Today's daily word just really shouted at me. There was no still small voice. I really, it just hollered at me, and it's ours. It's called My Story, but that's each one of us claiming this. I am divinely inspired to create and live a full, abundant life. I am the author of my story. No matter what happens, I choose the meaning I give to the events in my life. I see myself through divine perception as a spiritual victor, an overcomer, and not a victim of life's circumstances. Inspired by Spirit, I discover deeper understanding and new gifts in myself as I move through challenges. No part of my story limits the adventures of this day. There are no mistakes or wounds of the past that keep me from living fully now. I forgive myself and others the errors that occur when we fall short of being our best selves. We are all doing the best we can in this moment. I am free to love, to laugh, and to fully live the abundant life I am divinely inspired to create. And from John 10, verse 10, here's Jesus. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. I am divinely inspired to create and live a full, abundant life. And that's the truth, and God bless us.
Right, so this one's pretty easy. I'm sure some of you have heard it. It's by Michael W. Smith, I believe. So here we go. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you.
Thank you, David. Okay, now let's welcome our speaker, Karen Hamilton.
Here we go. Good morning. I wanted to begin this morning by telling you about an experience that I recently had. There we go. So back in March, our congregation started a Prosperity Plus series. And during that process, we were invited to look within and see what was wanting to be birthed, what kind of desires of our heart that we had. And we were asked to look over, all different areas of our life and to write them down. And one of the things that I longed for, that I would love to have in my experience, was a family reunion. It's been a number of years since all of my children and grandchildren that we've all been back together. So I just longed and really wanted to have that experience. But I didn't think that this was really the summer to do it. I felt like, if I say we're going to have a family reunion, I'm going to have to like pay for it. And my mind started chattering about all these things that would have to unfold for that to be able to come about. But I wrote it down, and I just felt how exciting and how wonderful that would be. And I knew that someday we would have our family reunion. Well, we did have it, and we had it since I was with you last. And I wanted to tell you how it unfolded. It was pretty amazing. So back, I think it was like the end of March, I was talking to my oldest daughter, Allison, and she said that Sunday, she and her daughter had played together. They had done the music for their service in Idaho. And I just felt my heart opening, and I just said, oh, I would love it if you and your daughter, your children, all of them, could come and do the music for us up in North Kitsap sometime. And I said, if you ever think it's going to be possible, and she has 4 children, if it's ever possible for you to come up, I'll let me know, and I'll arrange that you guys can do the music for us. I would love that. And so a few weeks later, she called me back, and she said that she could, that there was actually a week in July that she would be able to bring the children and do the music. So we got her scheduled, and that happened a couple of weeks ago. And then my second daughter, Jessica, learned that Allison was going to be coming up, and she's like, I'm going to be taking my girls to a camp in Oregon, and this is for violin and cello. It's a Zuki camp, and we'll just drive up. Like, I want to be there when Allison is there with the kids. And I'm like, great, that's going to be wonderful. And then my third daughter found out, and she's like, well, if you guys are going to be there, then I want to be there too. So she lives in Colorado, but she arranged to drive out, and she had family like every 4 to 5 hours along the way that she could stop and spend time with. And then my son lives in the area. So then they realized that everybody was going to be together. So the husbands are like, well, we'll fly out. There'll be a few days, and so we'll fly out too. And then my parents, found out. So it just kind of unfolded naturally and organically that everyone was able to come. And so the event comes, and Dave and I had been really busy. We had did a conference in Florida, and just a lot of things going on. And so I didn't really get to clean like I wanted to, and I didn't get to just sit down and prepare. I didn't have time to prepare. Like normally I would want to have a list of food and a menu and what we were going to do, and I just couldn't do that. I just did what I could do. And so the day that they started arriving, and so we had 10 grandchildren, ages 10 months to 11. And then we had these 6 adults, including Dave and I and my son, all in our home together. And they were actually there for 10 days. Wow. And so what I discovered is that I had to live in the moment. I had to just be present and live in the moment. I couldn't worry about the past. I couldn't think about what was going to be for dinner. The energy and the activity completely absorbed me. And I believe that my mind gave up. And so I just had to be present for the moment. And what I discovered is that everything unfolded organically and naturally. So I would just start thinking, I think I'll start making a macaroni salad. And then another daughter would think, I think I'll make this. And somebody would be out and they would just stop and pick up chicken or something. But every single meal happened. And it was beautiful. And it happened at the right time. And we didn't stress and we didn't have to plan or worry about it. So the whole 10 days was absolutely wonderful. I mean, we had children swinging literally from banisters and lots of wild activity. And on the roof, Dave reminded me of the boys. But we had so much fun. The house was a whirlwind. It was a disaster, but it didn't take us very long to clean it up. There's still a few places that need some paint, but so it was so fun. So as I thought about this experience, I realized that this was a paradigm changer for me. It really changed and reinforced what I intellectually believed, but it changed at a gut level how I operate and move with all that is. And I know that there is a higher power and presence that's active that we can tune into. So we live in a universe that is absolutely, positively designed to support and encourage an expansive way of life. An expansive way of life. In fact, expansion, so growth and expansion, is inherent in our being. Life wants to grow and it wants to expand. And there are a couple of more qualities that are inherent in all life, and those are light and harmony. So we say that when the vibration of expansion is being acted and allowed to happen, and when there's light and when there's harmony, all three of those together create a vibrational frequency that we call love. We recognize that as love in motion. And when we see and feel that love in motion, we say that whatever it is that we're looking at is beautiful. So something is full of beauty, beautiful, when love is moving through it. And we know that when love is moving through something, that quality of expansion, light, and harmony are ever present and active. So we live in a universe designed to support and encourage an expansive way of life. And if we're not having that experience, it's through no fault of the design. The problem is our misunderstanding of the system and our misalignment with the very fabric of life itself. So, as I said, that family reunion was a paradigm changer for me. And a paradigm, we all operate under a paradigm. And it's a set of beliefs that we believe in. So it's what we believe to be true about life. And it doesn't, just because we believe it to be true, doesn't mean that it is true. So that's an important distinction, right? So perhaps your paradigm has been working for a long time. Or perhaps it isn't. You're not completely satisfied with every aspect of your life. And if you're not, that's just a clue that maybe some of the beliefs that you hold are ready to be released. Maybe they need to be adjusted or realigned with the higher truth. And another thing that I have personally discovered is that I can feel like my life is just flowing in a harmonious, expansive, light-filled way, and it works for a number of years, and then something changes. And so there's this tendency to look backwards, like trying to realign with what was in the past. And that doesn't work because, remember, life is expansive. So that means that I'm just ready to have a different experience, a higher experience. And it's time for me to realign to a set of higher beliefs. So how is your paradigm working for you? Humanity as a whole has been operating under the paradigm of separation. Would you agree? And this is a set of beliefs that we're separate from the source of life itself. It's interesting though, when we examine this paradigm, the paradigm of separation, these beliefs about separation, they really don't hold up. When we go all the way back to behind what I like to call the garments of life, when we look back to the very fabric of life, like what creates and supports and sustains all life, we hold that a paradigm of separation does not hold up. And the truth of existence begins to reveal itself. So it's important to know that this whole belief about separation can only exist in our mind, in our thinking. And that's something that all mystics throughout all the ages agree on. It can only exist in our mind. And let's see here. And that's why it's important to know that the reality that comes from separation is often referred to as an illusion. You've heard that. So when we say reality with a little r, this physical experience that we're having is an illusion. And it's because our minds, in that paradigm of separation, we are creating an illusion. So our minds are actually designed to reinforce separation, and it could never decipher the non-separation or oneness of reality, because our minds are actually a product of separation. Have you ever thought about that? That our ability to use our mind is actually a result of a belief in separation. So the assumptions that our mind is going to make based on our experience can only interpret life in terms of separation, and it can only reinforce that. And so that's where direct experience comes in. Direct experience is different. And so how do we have direct experience? What is direct experience, or the medium of direct experience? And we say that it's when we experience our existence as it's happening in the moment, without our minds interpreting and feeding us a lot of information. So direct experience with existence happens when we're aware and focused in the moment, and we're aware, we're just right in that very present moment, and our mind isn't giving us a lot of chatter. Our mind isn't interpreting everything. So that's easier to say than to do. Would you agree?
Yes.
And so with that family reunion, sometimes it just takes a house full of 18 people to shut your mind down. Your mind has to just kind of like go on strike or give up. Or you have to have trained your mind to be able to rest and not provide all of that feedback and that chatter. So as awareness, so when we talk about awareness, there's a lot of words that we could say. We could say divine, loving intelligence. We could say God, the fabric of life, the sea of awareness. Wallace Wattles at the turn of the century called it the thinking stuff. So this energy and this energetic vibration that permeates every single molecule in the universe is intelligent, and it's one, and we're a part of that. And when we are able to be aware that we are a part of the sea of awareness, that we exist in the sea of awareness, when we are consciously aware, and when we know that our thoughts, our actions, everything that we do affects this sea of awareness, or the fabric of life, we say that that is more of a direct experience than just letting our minds give us a lot of chatter. So living from a unified paradigm. So we talked about the paradigm of separation, and now if we focus on living from a unified paradigm. Or, Gail spoke last week, I believe here, and he spoke on the golden age. So a time when our vibrational frequency would be higher. So as we embody that higher frequency, we begin to live from a unified paradigm, a oneness paradigm. And that's actually our default setting. It's actually the most basic substance that you can go back to. And when we meditate, when we take time and we examine consciousness, going all the way back, we always get back to that unified sea of awareness that's existing all of the time. So just imagine for one moment an energy source that's so pervasive, so complete, that it is the entirety of existence. Nothing else exists but that one energy source. Everything is it. So literally wherever we look, there it is. And we call this the sea of awareness or divine loving intelligence. A lot of words have been used to describe this all-encompassing energy source. So the deal is we walk around inside these bodies, and it seems though we're perceiving from the inside out. Do you recognize that feeling? Like we're perceiving on the inside out, and we see these bodies, and we say, there it is, that's proof that I'm separate, right? Very rarely do we question that, and that's what's important. Very rarely do we stop and ask ourselves if what we're thinking is true. So if you think of like the wheel of life, you've heard that term, and if we're always focused on where the rubber meets the road on that wheel, so that's a bumpy ride, isn't it? That's it's spinning rapidly, and it's all kinds of potholes and bumps and cracks that we're going over. So if our attention is focused there, we're going to have one experience. But if our attention instead is in the center, in the axle area, where it's not, that part that's not spinning, we're going to have a completely different perspective, and we're going to view life in a completely different way. When we're focused on that outer rim and the road, we get mesmerized. Thoughts are coming so fast that it's like hypnotic. Have you ever had that experience just sitting in front of your TV, watching a soap opera or a reality show, and you just get so drawn into it that you lose touch a little bit with really what is real in your life? We've all had that experience probably. So regardless of what we think or believe, there is this sea of awareness, this divine loving intelligence that is always present, ever present, and it's constant and it's completely stable. Everything goes into it, it comes out, arises out, and it dissolves back into this sea of awareness. So you could think of yourself as like a wave. You know, the waves come out of the ocean, but then they go right back into the ocean. Babies have awareness, but enlightened people have conscious awareness. And so while babies are in the sea of awareness, they're not conscious that they're a part of the sea of awareness. So to be enlightened or to be continuously conscious is to know at the very same time, to know that you are part of the sea of awareness, that you are the sea of awareness itself, and to know that your intentions and your thoughts and actions affect the whole. And then with that understanding, you're actually able to receive feedback. So when those three things are happening at the same time, we say that you are consciously aware, that you are enlightened. So here's the million-dollar question. How do we go from awareness to conscious awareness? How do you move over to being fully conscious each and every moment of the day? And so to do this, we actually, to be able to look at awareness and develop conscious awareness, we have to have a viewpoint that seems like it's separate, that is outside. And then when we have that viewpoint, that vantage point, we can look back at the sea of awareness, and that's how we actually become more consciously aware. So think of it as like, if we're like a wave, we rise up out of the ocean and we look back and we see the sea of awareness. And so we know that that's what we are, and we see that we're a wave right now, but we know that we're going to be going back into that wave. So that's the best way I can think of to describe using the whole paradigm of separation to our advantage as a way of becoming more consciously aware. And mystics will tell you that that's the purpose of life here, and that that's the only value to having a paradigm of separation, is so that you can become more consciously aware of what and who we are, and the beauty and the magnificence that that is us. So in enlightenment, or other words are like unified consciousness or continuous conscious awareness, in every moment we know that we are that sea of awareness. It never leaves you. And we're aware that we can drop things in the form of our thoughts, our intentions into that sea of awareness, and that it is duty bound to bring them forth, to manifest them. Every single thing you drop into the sea of awareness comes into being. And so think about that family reunion I had. I dropped that intention in, and I didn't have to call up my daughters and say, hey, I want to do this. The sea of awareness took care of it for me in a beautiful, non-stressful way. So those three elements exist at the same time in enlightenment. We're the same substance doing all of those things. We are the sea of awareness, or we are divine loving intelligence, and we have a creative aspect to ourselves. We're able to drop intentions into this awareness, and they're duty bound to come about. And then we're able to get some feedback from that to let us know if that intention was in alignment. Because it's like we're walking around with a laboratory, these physical beings, and sometimes we're going to drop things in that maybe are not completely in alignment. And so if we're conscious, if we're paying attention, we'll get signals and feedback that that's not quite in alignment, and we can change our thoughts, change our intentions. So this field of connectivity, awareness, that awareness bestows, means that whatever we believe and think is going to be manifest, and it's going to affect all of us. So the energy in this room today is a certain vibrational frequency because of all of us that are here present. And on a different Sunday with a different group, it could be different, right? What one of us does affects the whole. So why is this important? So what? Why is it important for us to realize this and to become more consciously aware? And it's because once we do get it and we experience it, there's really nothing stopping us from creating the world, the humanity that we really do want to see, that we hold in our hearts. And I really do mean nothing. Fear and doubt cannot be present with this kind of an awareness and understanding. When we're consciously aware, fear and doubt cannot endure. In fact, that whole impulse of fear arises when there's not understanding. So a lack of understanding is what allows that impulse to surface. So as soon as we have experiences where we really start to experience, so not just know in our mind, but actually experience how this connectivity works and how the sea of awareness, so like that family reunion, it starts to build up like a magnetism. It starts to draw us and pull us in ever stronger ways until it just becomes natural. Have any of you had that experience where you felt that? And so once that starts happening, the pull gets even stronger and the magnetism grows. And under those circumstances, we feel satisfied. We feel full. We feel complete. We feel expansive. We feel the beauty and grace that exists in the universe. And we know that as human beings, we are no exception. So I like to think of being human in these terms. To be human is to be beauty, grace, and freedom of awareness in matter, in physical form. So you might be wondering, this is a question I had, if we are all awareness and everything is made from awareness, what is it doing in matter? Why would it want to be in matter? And so this is the quick answer to that. As awareness enters matter, the slower frequencies of matter, so matter vibrates at a different frequency than spirit, it causes an illusion of forgetting. Anybody here have issues with forgetting? Yeah, we all do. And as we remember who we are while we're in this matter, we actually enlighten matter. So have you ever thought of that? As we remember while we're in these physical bodies, we are enlightening matter. Consciousness is the light of awareness, and our consciousness gives the nature of awareness, the sea of awareness, full access to matter. So we could say that consciousness is the in-seeing ability to know itself, and consciousness is a form of light. So that really changes everything for me. Like when I go back and I read Genesis, let there be light, and all of the references to light, and you think of light in terms of not only lighting, but consciousness. So we're bringing consciousness into matter. And there's an old Sufi story that they tell that's been told for centuries, and it's really a cherished, loved story. And in it says, and this is God speaking, or Allah, or divine loving intelligence, the sea of awareness. These words are coming from that source. I was a hidden treasure, and I desired. I lovingly longed and hungered to be known. So I created the world, to which I made myself known, so that I would be known. So I love those words. The Dalai Lama says that the whole purpose of life is to embody the transcendent. To embody the transcendent. And that means to be in a body, my true being. To be consciously aware of what I am naturally. And what am I? What are we? I am, we are awareness. We are one with all that is known by many names. Source, divine mind, God, divine loving intelligence, or simply awareness. We are one with all of this. So the purpose of life is bringing the light of conscious remembering to all that you are, all that you think, and all that you do. And this fulfills the purpose of life. And when this is our intention, to bring conscious awareness to everything that we do, think, feel, and are, you can be sure that satisfaction and that joy and fulfillment will follow. And so I believe that more than anything right now, humanity needs individuals who are consciously aware, who know who they are, and who are living life from that paradigm. So just think about it. A lot of times we think we need more legislation. We need more litigation. We need more domination, globalization, or mechanization, right? We think of those, we turn to those outside things to improve humanity, and how is it working? We don't need any of those things. We need conscious awareness. We need individuals who radiate conscious awareness because it magnetizes. So as we, Unity of Bremerton, as we become more consciously aware, there is a real attraction to that, and other people will want to become more consciously aware. And what will end up happening is that we will create a world just like that family reunion, where we'll individually know what we need to do in the present moment. We won't have to have authority figures over us that we have to vote for, and the whole body of people that we're dependent on. As a humanity, we'll all know that we have this ability to tap into source, and that we'll be told individually what is ours to do. And then we'll be able to create the world that we all hold in our hearts and that we're all envisioning. So in conclusion, I just want to remind you that you are a vast and beautiful being, each and every one of you. You are the sweetness of life itself. And you are a powerful transmitter of light and of love. You have access to all the information and secrets and mysteries that you need to do your part. So conscious awareness in the present moment is the way we enlighten matter. It's the way that we establish heaven on earth. And once we do, the earth will never be the same again. So I'd like to offer a meditation where we can actually practice and ground these principles, an opportunity to practice conscious awareness in the present moment. So I invite you to make sure that you're sitting comfortably, that your feet are flat on the floor in front of you. You're sitting up a little straighter. And just gently close your eyes and focus your attention within. So just for now, let go of any thoughts about your day and bring your attention to the present moment, right here, right now. Notice your breathing gently rising and falling. Feel how your focus on your breath welcomes a state of peace and serenity. just become conscious that you are in a state of peace and serenity. That you have arrived fully in the present moment, and that your consciousness is fully available to explore within. Notice how your breath has a calming, peaceful effect. And the more that you just follow your breath, the more calm and peaceful you feel. Now notice that you are not directing the breath. It is coming and going of its own accord. And you do not need to work out how much breath you need. Something is taking care of your breath, maintaining the exact flow of oxygen. So notice that you are not so much breathing as being breathed. Without realizing it, something has been taking care of your breath for years, and we have noticed it not. It is a sea of awareness, ongoing, ever present, ever available. If I were to ask you, do you exist? You would say yes, of course. But if I were to say, how do you know you exist? You would say, it's obvious, I am here. Our existence is obvious, and for this reason, it is very familiar. It is so familiar, we have taken it for granted. We have overlooked the very thing that was making our existence possible. It is the sense of life. It is the source of life, patiently carrying out life in all its forms. It is existence itself, the medium in which all things exist. Notice the sea of awareness. And is it possible not to exist? Let's try. And we see that we cannot. It is a non-negotiable reality. When we notice the awareness that we are, we become conscious. What do we become conscious of? Our experience. So our experience is the conscious registering of our existence. So just notice that you are able to be conscious of your existence. Notice that you are able to register your experience. So you know your awareness by noticing your experience. When you sleep, do you cease to exist? No, you are the sea of awareness, taking care of breathing, taking care of the body. And when you wake, you become conscious of your awareness, and you start to have experience. So the sea of awareness continues whether you are conscious of it or not. And where does this awareness show up? In the present moment. So just notice the present moment. Try to exist outside of the present moment, even for 1 minute. We find that we cannot. Awareness can only exist in the present moment. So when we become conscious of the present moment, we are experiencing life as it is coming into being. And notice how the constancy of the present moment, how constant it is. Notice the stillness. Notice how reliable it is, ever present. Impossible to alter. It's beyond our control. It is a non-negotiable reality. And this is the medium of the sea of awareness. So the non-negotiable, ever-present moment allows our non-negotiable, ever-present awareness to exist. This is our existence. This is who we are. We are an ever-present sea of awareness. We are both ever-present and always present. So now notice that the present moment is not static. If it were, we would experience the same thing forever. This has an ability to allow change. So now notice both its constant nature and that it allows complete freedom within the moment. Notice that this mutability allows our consciousness to move around inside of our awareness. It allows our consciousness to register change in our experience. And this mutability, this stillness, is the stream of awareness. It is a moving stream, yet it is always in the present moment. So just notice the stream of awareness and be conscious. Be conscious awareness. And notice that this conscious awareness is not dependent on our age or ability or education. It's not something that we earn. We do not need to deserve it. It is not dependent on us being an earnest seeker. This is not something we get. This is something we are. It is a constant, present freely given in each moment, ever accessible, ever available, ever present, ever present. So become conscious of your state of being, and let the peace and the serenity of your being expand into the cells of your physical body until there is a harmonious continuum between your state of being and your physical body. Become conscious of where you are sitting. Become conscious of where you are. Allow the peace and the serenity of your being to move into the space around you. So take a deep breath in and keep your eyes closed and allow yourself to smile and notice the sunshine that radiates from you when you smile. So allow your smile to send the sunshine of your being throughout your entire being and environment. The person that you were when we started this meditation is now gone. Become conscious of who you are now. Come into a conscious waking state as you are now, in perfect alignment, in perfect harmony, and take this being into life with you. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. I invite you to turn to your neighbor and re-inform them. I am light in matter.
Alright, so this is a song of mine called Strange Little Pearl, and it's, I think it has to do a little bit with what we're talking about today, kind of the idea of being separate. At some point you realize that's not quite true, so I think one of the best ways to start trying to get included with everything and everyone is to align yourself with yourself and to be in tune with who you are, like you were saying, and everything. So this is my song about trying to do that for myself in hopes that it incorporates me better into all of humanity. I'm not one of those people who could just saunter right through life cloaked in confidence. I walk a fine, fine wife. I'm fragile, not frail. I'm a teller of tales. I started with 88 keys, and then I ended up with these 6 strings. But either way, these 2 hands of mine have always spoken for me. I write myself into the chords. I drag my heart up and down the fretboard. This small world is getting smaller as I search for songs in the squalor. As glasses of water go, you know, baby, you're always getting taller. I've never been prone to gamble because I love a sure thing. I've never been known to ramble around, but I'm developing a hankering. I'm fragile, not frail. I wanna travel and tell my tales. And there's a comfort in strangers that I find hard to explain. You know, I think what excites me is the blank slate of my name. You only know what you learn, for as long as the flame burns. This small world is getting smaller as I search for songs out in the squalor. As glasses of water go, you know, baby, you're always getting taller.
Thank you. Now it's time for our Food for Life bag and our offertory. Now, we don't have a bag available that's been returned. Oh, we
Right
do?
here.
Ah,
No, I've got one in my car to bring in.
okay, so is there somebody that would like to take the Food for Life bag this week? If, okay, James, thank you. We'll leave that up here for you. Now it's time for the offering. And as you prepare your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are, and as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send the blessing out. And okay, and then we have candles to be lit also, and you're invited to light one of those.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I
I wish I had one. I'm a complete failure. On one side, and on the other side. It could be worse. It could be worse. Thanks for not saying it's pretty bad. I didn't want to think about it. It's bad. I was thinking. Doesn't matter. It's human air.
Okay.
My father had some family just as smart, and she couldn't. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, she had a brain. I'm sure it was one of you know? I had one hand.
That was when
She was 10 children. My dad had 10. So we had cousins by the dozen. We had lots of Oh, it was really, it was fun. It was.
I can't imagine a hundred and fifty to 200 sandwiches in one place.
Together.
We dedicate these gifts in service to the highest mission, recognizing and celebrating our oneness with God. We joyfully and freely participate in the law of circulation, of giving and receiving, knowing God is source, the source of all good. We are grateful.
Now it's time for our children, our child.
Good news.
Oh, good news, we have to have some good news.
I got one.
Okay.
We're on vacation.
And that means Barbara's here, so that's good news. I love seeing Barbara. Sally.
How many of you remember Abraham when he was here?
Oh,
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
he's coming back on the 13th.
Yay!
For those who don't know him or didn't hear him, he's a young man that Rosella found, graduate of Central Kitsap High School, valedictorian, had a free ride to Yale. He's just finished his first year at Yale. And Susan and, I guess Susan has been communicating, and I have by Facebook. And so he, on Facebook, I said, Abraham, when he was here before, I did the songs when he played for me, but I did the songs. So I said to him, you have to sing. You're in the Yale chorus, and you have to sing. So he's going to do one, and I'm going to do one.
Oh,
That's
yay,
the 13th. Yeah.
Thank
Great
all the lights on my dash that have been flashing for the last year, it's totally dark. I just got my car, everything finally done over these last couple months. So it's working well, and I got it unloaded because I had it full of stuff for a garage sale. So there's a garage sale at Dockside this weekend. I met a gal, and so I can share with that. The whole Dockside community is doing, that's on Kitsap Lake right here. I didn't even know that, I was born here. Didn't even know that incredible housing developments. Their 6th annual, and it's up there at, on Kitsap Lake right here, just right up here. So anyway, that's on Saturday from 9 to 4. Thank God I got all this stuff out of my van. So that I could pick up my bicycle that I bought at a garage sale, so I now have a bicycle. And Joe helped tune it up a little bit for me, and so now I have a bike where I rode up and watched the sunset because they cut down all the trees.
That reminds me, because many of you knew back when I had my big old van that I hated to drive. And I've had it parked on the street for sale for a few months. And so I've got somebody that's very interested in it, so that he can convert it to something that he can travel with a camper van. So just holding prayer that I can get this, because it'll be extremely helpful at this time for my finances. Okay, any other good news before we welcome Jay? Okay.
I switched barber shops after 21 years and started my health coaching course online, the all-in-one one.
Ooh. And for those that don't know, Terry cuts my hair. And I like it. Okay, Jay.
You are walking in the light. In the light of God, in the light, 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 in the light of God.
So Cindy, can you tell us what you did today?
All right, we've been working on the third basic principle. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And he worked with Joe a little bit last week with the law of attraction and magnets and all that good stuff. Today we focused on, or what I focus on, is what I get back. So we talked about, thoughts in mind produce after their kind. And we had a situation yesterday. We got him a Chromebook recently to help him with, they use them in school, usually starting in 3rd grade. He's starting 2nd grade, but as most of you know, he's ahead of his time. So we've been working on that as a means to communicate and create and do some stuff. And we've started typing classes. And there's a website, free website called typingclub.com. And he's done really well with it, but yesterday he had a challenge with it yesterday. And he came into the, I can't, this is impossible, and meltdown thing. So we had the opportunity to look back on yesterday's situation and how might we have done that a little bit better. What should we have thought instead? And applied that to today's lesson, which was about a seed and how a seed can do depending on the soil that it's put into. So we discussed what the soil is and what the seed is and how that would work. So show them what you did. So at the top it has the what I focus on is what I get back. And then he decided to draw, hold it up. What did you tell me what you got?
Very good.
Yeah.
This seed right here only grew like 1%. But this seed, that seed right there, it grew a whole big entire root.
And what's the difference?
And also the flower had like more than one flower on it, like 5.
He's a thinker.
This picture is negative, and this picture is positive.
Way to go.
How many of us have been there before?
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you just the way you are.
Time to stand for our peace song.
Come on in.
Here, here.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us.